Now joining us is Dr. Vikram Singh, who's of course a former DGP of UP. Yashowardhan Azad, former senior IPS officer, is also with us. We have Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate in the Supreme Court, also joining us. Let me start with you first. Yashowardhan Azad, it's a case where, of course, in terms of appeal, what's possible in terms of, India's chances at actually getting this individual back, they do seem rather arduous and remote. But what is quite surprising is that they have completely ignored what happens there in the United Kingdom as far as their own jails and their own custodial deaths in prisons are concerned. And two cases being cited to deny Sanjay Bhandari to actually, come here and, participate as far as the judicial process here is concerned. How do you look at this particular matter, and what really are the options that Indian prosecuting authorities in this case have?
Well, I was just looking through the data, and in 2019, there were 143 inmates who were killed in United States prisons by homicide. So even in the United States, if there was this criminal was from USA, I'm sure he would have been extradited. There would have been no problem, just because there are facilities in prison, running water and things like that. Secondly, it's very idiotic that a criminal who has committed crime in India, again, the prevalent situation, even when he was out of jail, the pollution figures, etc., are much worse than Britain. So there it was no problem. But now serving a sentence in jail in India is very difficult, just because there is no running water in the basin and people are getting killed. He doesn't carry any specific threat, number three. So these are, of course, reasons. Of course, what has been cited about the courts, and that also by an justice of Supreme Court, that the prison conditions are poor. Well, that's very, very true. It is poor. But even if the conditions are not poor in other places, these kind of activities do happen. So yes, it's a tough call for the prosecution here. And they would have to submit or regurgitate all these things which are coming out. Right. But it surely depends on the judge which way he takes.
Absolutely. In fact, there are a lot of ifs and buts at this point of time. Not a very easy task, but it's a very, very high-profile and sensitive case because of the ramifications. The name of Robert Vadra has come up time and again, Sanjay Hegde. But really, with a judge going there and testifying, what are we looking at in terms of this case? Because does this then, become a sort of a template as far as other cases are concerned? Because there are many others who India wants who are in the jurisdiction of the United Kingdom.
Somewhere in London, I expect Mr. Vijay Mallya to be throwing a party. That is what is most likely as an outcome. Because, see, it's not as if the UK government doesn't want to extradite the person. The Home Secretary has passed an order of extradition. That is subject to judicial review, and the judiciary, having reviewed the evidence which has been presented before it, feels that India is not a country where somebody can be extradited based upon the evidence which has been presented for them, including, as Mr. Azad says, a former Supreme Court judge who the High Court itself has termed as being a very combative witness, but nevertheless has relied on his testimony. It has also relied on the testimony that, individual cells in Tihar do not happen to have prison sinks.
Running.
So
absolutely.
Running water, yes, that's what he's talking about. Yeah. Now, I think the only positive outcome would be if our governments decided that, we should have to improve prison conditions in India so that people who have fled abroad can be extradited. Then it would be a win at least for those who are stuck in Indian prisons.
And perhaps those in prisons would have better facilities than citizens outside in cities such as Delhi, which have chronic water shortage. But,